Welcome back to Southpaw Garage. We got another Silverado video for you today. We're gonna be working on the exterior of the truck this time. The modification we'll be working on in this video is actually going to be with the fender flares. We are going to be removing these air design fender flares and instead installing some new ones that I've ordered. As you can see, these have kind of already started coming undone from the truck. They're just unadhering themselves. They're not staying stuck. And I just don't really want water running down in there. I'm gonna be using a Craftsman trim removal kit to work on getting the plastic fender off the truck. I don't know if I'm gonna start pulling at the adhesive yet. I kind of wanna just get the plastic off first and then we'll come back and clean the adhesive. I'm going to use the wide pull tool just to see if I can kind of work it around the edges and get the plastic to separate from the adhesive. That is one air design fender flare off the truck. You can see all the adhesive still around the fender of the truck, so we'll come back and get to that later. But still got to do this 3 more times. Removing those pieces is not that bad. It really doesn't take that long, but I have a feeling that cleaning up the fenders is going to be a little bit of a different story.
Many months later.
I recorded the first part of this video, the part of me removing the old fender flares from the truck, back in May. As of recording this part, it is now July 30th. Obviously, it's taken me a couple of months to get back on this project. We've had a couple of issues with the first brand of paint that we tried to use to get these to color match to the truck. It didn't stick well, did not look good once it was applied and clear coated, so we had to sand all of that off. And then with items we were working on to get the Nova ready to take the body and paint and just trying to get it set up and ready to go, just took me a little while to get back to the fender flares, but they're finally painted with a good quality paint. And now prepping them, getting them ready to install, going to be putting the bolts in them and then doing the weather stripping. So we have all of the bolts in place and the weather stripping around all of the inside of the fender flares. So now we're going to work on getting them installed on the truck. I'm going to start on the rear fender flares. I think those will be the easiest to start with because they don't have any type of adhesive running around the strip that goes to the truck itself. So we're going to get started on those. We're going to do one rear one and then one front one. I'm going to do driver's side first and then just repeat the process on the passenger side. First thing we got to do is remove some of these T15 screws. So we got this top one right here on the front side of the rear fender, and then both of these on the rear side. We're just going to take those out and we're going to reuse these screws to hold the fender flare in place. Alright, so we're going to set the fender flare in the fender well, lining the mounting holes on the bottom side up with the holes that we just took the screws out of. If you look around the inside of the fender flare, we'll see holes like that in 3 different locations. So you're going to take clips like this and use them on the inside of the truck's fender and then the outside of the fender flare and clip it in that slot so that it holds the upper part of the fender flare in place. We do have to remove the mud guard on the front fenders for the truck in order to put on the fender flares. There's 2 T15 torque screws and then there's a 10mm bolt on the bottom side that will also have to be taken out. There's actually a 3rd T15 screw directly under where this bottom T15 is that we took out that I did not know was there until I started trying to pull this off and it wouldn't go anywhere. First thing I'm going to do is just hold the fender flare up here in the position of best fit that I can get to and kind of just mark where the clips go. I mark those positions so that I know where this abrasive resistant tape goes that the clips are going to use to help hold on to the fender flare. For the front fender, you've got these curly type clips. The short part of the clip is actually going to go on the inside of the truck fender. The first one's going to go right in here at the bottom. You don't actually need the adhesive tape for this one because it's on the inside of the flat black plastic, not out here on the paint. So we're just going to make sure this clips into the truck fender. And just like before, I'm going to reinstall the torque screws at the back part of this fender flare to help hold it in place. There is an inner adhesive on these fender flares, so I'm going to go ahead and just peel the wax paper off of it. I messed up my first installation of this, so I had to recut a new piece for the bottom, so I'm just going to go ahead and pull that one all the way off. And then for the second piece, I'm just going to start it, because I don't want the entire fender flare sticking right now. All right, this bottom clip is in. Now I'm just going to put pressure up here at these top clips and get them installed. So now that I have the fender flare clipped in, I'm just checking the weather stripping to make sure it looks good all the way around. And I'm going to start peeling this back and applying pressure as I go. So we got the driver's side fender flares on. I'm going to repeat the process on the passenger side and then give y'all a look at the end result. That is the Rough Country Pocket Fender Flare install. Rough Country has two fender flare sets. They've got this one, the Pocket Fender Flares, and then they also have a set that is completely smooth. Has like more of a streamlined look. I don't know exactly what they call them. It may just be regular fender flares on their site. But they don't have these bolts on them, and they don't have this little ridge. They just kind of come down and then, or they come out and then down, and they're smooth. I like these. I think they give the truck a little more of a rugged look, which is kind of what I'm going for. So I'm really happy with the way they look. I definitely like the color matched. I feel like it's a major improvement over the previous fender flares I had on the truck from Air Design USA. So overall, extremely satisfied with this purchase. I hope that this installation video helped you install yours if you're getting them, or gave you some ideas if you have been thinking about getting them. You see what they look like on the truck. Thanks for watching. I appreciate the support of the channel. This is Southpaw Garage, signing out.